Alright, so the early days of YouTube. So, Sonic has been around for many years, right? And this game in particular is very infamous within the Sonic community, but it's not for any good reason at all. It's actually very bad. Okay, so back in the day, I used to browse YouTube all the time, and I used to just watch random Sonic content. And when it comes to like Sonic content, you will see like the older Sonic games, and then you'll see the modern 3D ones. The modern 3D ones, I'm talking about the ones that came out like on PlayStation or Wii, those type of games. And the one game that used to stand out the most during that era of the early 2000s when it comes to Sonic is Sonic 06, because it's a very, very well-known game that's very hated within the Sonic community. Sonic 06 is a game where a bunch of stuff would become infamous. Like the "It's no use" line is from Sonic 06, and the scene where Sonic kissed Elise, which is a meme, by the way. It is it's a meme that spawned by hate from Sonic fans. And yeah, and I wanted to talk about Sonic 06 today, because why not go back and look at what made this game so hated, since I am like familiar with the game due to the fact that a bunch of people hate it. Sonic the Hedgehog, or wait a minute, excuse me, sorry. Okay, so Sonic the Hedgehog is a 2006 3D platforming video game developed by Sonic Team and published by Sega for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. It was made to celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Sonic franchise. Now, I wouldn't have known that because at the time I did not own a PS3. Not only that, but I did not own this game back then either. And I later on, I seen it at a store, and I still didn't want to play it due to the fact that a lot of people hate the game. I should have bought it though and tried it myself to see if I like it or not though, because I can't I get a bunch of people hate it, but you can't just say you hate it unless you actually experienced it for yourself. So I probably should have played the game myself. Okay, it was the first game in the series to support high definition graphics, and it debuted the recurring character Silver the Hedgehog. So this is his first appearance. The story follows three central characters: the heroic protagonist Sonic the Hedgehog, who is on a mission to save Leanne's young monarch, Princess Elise, from his arch enemy, Dr. Eggman. Shadow the Hedgehog, he faces off against an unleashed demonic supernatural entity in Silver the Hedgehog, a hedgehog from the future who seeks to prevent an upcoming catastrophe by hunting Sonic. Okay, so this is Silver's first appearance, and then this is also, I'm guessing this is the game where Milhouse appeared, but I'm not sure, but I haven't played this game. This culminates in Sonic. Shadow and Silver work together to save the world from the fearsome entity Solaris. Okay, so that's the full summary of Sonic 06. Oh, so we also get an explanation to why it's considered Sonic 06. It says, due to the lack of a distinct title, the game has been referred to by a number of different aliases, most of them coined by the Sonic fandom. Its most popular aliases is Sonic 06, which they are right. Everybody just knows this game as Sonic 06 or Sonic 2006. Okay, so the development. Okay, so the game faced development issues which resulted in the project being rushed, while the soundtrack has been praised. I didn't know that the soundtrack was heavily praised. I wouldn't have known that because I haven't played the game. The only thing that I heard that was so bad about the game was the fact that Sonic was kissing Elise, the human princess girl. And a lot of people had a meltdown over that. And the silver. But I wouldn't have known that they praised Sonic 06. Maybe I gotta go and listen to it on my own. So I'm not really familiar with it. Okay. It is widely criticized for its frequent gameplay glitches, inconsistent plot, and poor optimization. Due to this, Sonic the Hedgehog has received generally negative reviews. The game has landed on many lists of the worst video games of all time. See, this isn't like the first time we heard Sega made a bad game, because Balan Wonderland suffered the same thing. I'm sorry, Balan Wonder World suffered the same fate as Sonic 06 because they said that it was a bunch of glitches inside the game. It was just like all over the place. Okay, so this isn't surprising that Sonic 06 failed because Balan Wonder World failed too. The same way Sonic 06 failed. And it says, like someone says, that it had poor quality control, shallow gameplay, and it was overpriced. But don't they know new games is always overpriced? I mean, some have a reasonable price, but sometimes it does be overpriced. There's something that's like real boogie and something really glitchy. So, like, Sega kind of repeated something that will always haunt them or come back to bite them. They got a thing where they try to make a franchise but it doesn't like always does good or something like that, and as a result they stick to making Sonic games because it never works out for them when they try to make a new franchise, because Balan is a prime example of that. But let's get back on topic. Sonic 06. Okay, we see that it had a similar fate as Balan Wonderworld. Yeah, we see that. Okay. Okay, let's see why Sonic 06 is hated other than it being buggy and glitchy and bad stories and just a mess. Okay, so let's go through this one. This one seems to be 7 years ago, and people sharing their thoughts about why they hate Sonic 06. So let's start with this one. It's a broken mess of a game that has tarnished the series ever since. A situation that helped by people like Game Grunts, tearing open old rooms and people coming out of their world. Actually, defend the game as anything other than the Steam Power Hedgehog. Yeah, it's bad. Soundtrack is good, but that's all that can be savage. So the soundtrack is the only thing that redeems the game, basically. Okay. This person says it's the worst game I've ever played that was made by a serious company. Just to name a small few problems up the top of my head, glitchy bugs is underdeveloped, plagued with terrible game design, the story is dumb, the style is off, graphics are bad, frame rate goes nuts, loading screen pops up too frequently. Sometimes you would get a 10-second loading screen in between the dialogue boxes of NPCs. I could go on. There's nothing redeemable about this game, especially considering this isn't an indie title or something. This is supposed to be a proper Sonic game by a serious game company. A lot of people put work into it. You'd have to be a huge Sonic fan to get any semblance of fun out of it. I suppose you could enjoy it on the irony that it's so bad it's good. Dang. So this person said it had too many glitches and the game design was terrible and the story is dumb and the style of graphics is bad. Maybe Sega was trying to make this game more, I think they was probably going into like a more mature thing with Sonic, and then they were trying to like catch up with everybody else is doing when it comes to making games, because back then and now they are competitive. If a gaming company sees something else working in a game, they're gonna try to copy it and do it their way and try to make it good too. But as a result, they probably don't understand how to put something together properly like the other game developers, and that is probably why it didn't work out so good for Sonic 06. Something they were trying to do that was new, and they thought it was gonna make out of fans like the game, or it's gonna make a Sonic game, a really impressive Sonic game. And as a result, they couldn't put everything together right and make it the best way they can, even though they tried to, I guess. I don't know though. Okay, let's see what this person says. I actually gave it a go recently after years of missing out because I like the adventure series, and I thought that the hell, it can't be that bad. What the hell, it can't be that bad. It's extremely frustrating to play. It's not blatant in a that's weird kind of way, but rather in it springs and boost pads randomly lines you into the wrong direction. Example, and it's easy for the character to fall or go off course if you just hit or touch something the wrong way. Not to mention the jump momentum feels like crap, and it's very hard time jump right. It's not something that you get good at with practice like the original Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. On top of all that, the game has match speed sections that are rage-inducing hard. Okay, so when it comes to difficulties in Sonic games, if you're saying this stuff is hard to play, you probably haven't played the original Sonic, because the original Sonic is not very easy at all. For all you new generation Sonic fans, and like, if you're playing a Sonic game, yes, it's gonna be difficult sometimes. If you haven't played the original Sonic, it was difficult. It got harder as you progress through the game. It got harder, so you had to get used to it. So this is not new for a Sonic game to have a certain amount of difficulty or be real hard. That's not new. They used to do that back then. But I get the frustration and stuff, because it does get tough, and you gotta find a way to make it past there. And you're gonna fail constantly trying to do that. Okay, so let me finish what I'm saying. Basically forcing you to memorize every jump obstacle to get through it, which feels a lot more like work than fun. And the fact that the character doesn't control quite right only makes it worse. Other bits like the story, ECT, I didn't mind them so much. It's the fact that it plays bad. It is extremely challenging for the wrong reason. That killed it for me. If you like the adventure series and understand what you are getting into, by all means keep an open mind and give it a shot. But just know that this is not a game that you'll look at your fun with. Wow. But complaining about the difficulty and getting used to the controls, you do that on every Sonic game. Sonic is not an easy game to play sometimes. I can name a lot of difficult Sonic games that I've played. Okay. Let's read some more of these reviews. Okay, so this person played the game. It says, I've just gotten the... Well, I'm going to skip that one. Sonic's levels were a good balance of speed and platforming. The gameplay suited him perfectly because it merged all of his skills to something really enjoyable. The one thing I don't like is the match speed areas. I suck at those. Shadow levels were more combat focused, and this suited Shadow really well. It was the first time he didn't seem like a clone of Sonic. He had his own violent playstyle, and it was fun. He could plummet enemies with homing attacks and freeze tag with chaos spirit. It's really fun. The vehicles could be better, but they're decent. Silver levels. Why do people hate him? I really like his playstyle. Hurling boxes and debris at enemies is really cool, and he handles decent. His platforming is pretty good too, since he goes at slower pace. Then there are backup characters. I liked that they all had unique moves than before. Reach had bombs, Omega used a shotgun, and used her hammer and could turn invincible. Each character had their own style. They weren't all perfect, but it was pretty cool. There's also the matter of Princess Elise. She's not great, but she's decent. And as for the... Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. The bee thing, it's a cartoon. Sonic is a cartoon character. You can kiss a human because he's not real. Remember Roger Rabbit? Does anybody whine about his wife? No. And she was human. There's no world issue. It's just a game. I mean, Bugs Bunny is girls, even to Sonic. Of course, but still, you can't like realize it's a Sonic game. And yeah, I also agree with that. I did find it a bit weird for Sonic to do that, considering the fact that it's kind of out of character and like it kind of doesn't add up to like, it doesn't give them enough time to develop a relationship to be kissing each other like that. It doesn't even explain why he like the girl likes him or whatever. I haven't played the game, but it probably doesn't like fit into the story that much. And it kind of feels like it wasn't no chemistry there. It feels like it just added it just to add that to the game. You know, and it just felt like that didn't be in there. I ain't got nothing against it. It just felt like it didn't belong in that game. As for the camera, it's pretty bad but manageable. I mean, there's some buttons to fix it, and it's almost always works. It can be tolerated like that. Faults. And then there's the glitches and load times. The load times are long and unnecessary. I'm gonna cut this short. The glitches and myth. I mean, there's a lot of faults in the game, like not being able to control your speed during a jump or a levitating a box or something. And yeah, those are odd. Okay. Not excusing Sega's for the faults. Yes, they were wrong to release this game when it was obviously unfinished, but the faults are manageable. They're really not that big of a deal if you just leave them alone. I like the game. In fact, it's one of my favorite Sonic 3D games. Why do people hate it so much? Okay, so this person likes the game, pointed out all the game's issues, but still enjoyed playing the game. But I mean, if they like the game, that's fine too. But at the same time, if you're a customer and you're like expecting something that's supposed to be made with quality, you would want quality. I'm not saying that him liking the game is wrong. I'm just saying that they should put out better stuff, regardless. If people don't find an issue without the glitches and stuff, it still needs to be put together, right? It's a video game. If it's not finished, take your time and finish the game. It's the same thing that's going on right now. That they rushing to put the game out and it's not finished. And then instead of finishing the game, they just put it out and then patch it and then something else breaks. That's the same thing that's happening right now. But if he enjoyed the game, then that's fine. I'm glad he enjoyed the game. But Sega, you're a big company. You should be better than that, and you shouldn't be rushing to put out a game at all. I don't know what this era was like for gaming, as I probably wasn't paying attention to it that much at the time. But Sega is a big company though, and they don't need to act like they gotta constantly put more games out. They could have just did like a project that was easier to put together and able to be finished at a certain amount of time instead of going with putting out Sonic 06 despite it being broken and not completely well put together. That's not good for Sega. I get why a bunch of people hate it. They better than it. They're a freaking big company and y'all put out something like that. Really? There's a lot of people that say they liked it again. So this person said that, yeah, they said Silver felt glitchy. They enjoyed Shadow's gameplay. It says Sonic had awkward net speed stages. Sonic was less powerful and slower in a normal gameplay. Okay, so this person said that at least Sonic and at least levels were better. Okay, they said that Blaze and Knuckles were awkward. Their mechanics, it was just real buggy, I guess. And the camera, there I go again saying the bad camera. And the controls with Tails and Rouge or they had problems with everybody else's controls, like the minor character controls. So a bunch of people saying that it's just a glitch and stuff. Yep, and the designs, a lot of people are saying that. Okay, so it's another person that like the game. Okay, so this person says Sonic 06 art style is bad. I think it is like too realistic and it's trying to put like cartoony characters in a realistic environment, which is not a bad thing, but the way that Sega like handled it was terrible and rushed and not very polished this time. And a lot of people just praise the music, so that's not a good thing. Okay, this person right here. Let's read this one. Okay, it says this. Wait a minute. Most people realize that this game sucked. It had potential, but it is an unfinished game, which I agree with him. It is a unfinished game. Whether people like this game or not, it has to do with what games they were introduced to first. I don't think it has something to do with what game they were introduced first. Kinda agree, kinda disagree. But then again, if you played this game and you played the classic Sonic, you will know that Sonic always had a difficulty. It was always a type of difficulty in Sonic. And they complain about the difficulty in Sonic 06, which that is normal within a Sonic game. Because Sonic games, they have these certain type of difficulties that, whenever you process through the game, how much you process through the game, it get harder and harder. So I'm not used to hearing people say, "Oh well, this game is hard." You probably haven't played the original game. Or like at the same time, the 3D and the 2D Sonic games get the same amount of difficulties. I strongly disagree. I gotta disagree with that. Yeah, but I disagree. I said a lot of people hate Silver's gameplay, which I'm not surprised because a lot of people kept complaining about him back then. So yeah. Okay, this person said load times for collision detection, load times, Sonic slowdown, load times, Sonic and Princess Elise. There's a lot of people saying that the game was clearly rushed, had the chance to redeem itself on PlayStation 3 and failed, and is especially the best example of something former community driving the hedgehog into eternal mediocrity. And unfortunately, Unleashed is a shining example of what Sonic Team can do if it exercises and make a quality title. Like every other 3D Sonic title, it has its issues, but it's a welcome step in the right direction. It makes a good point. And this was said 15 years ago, so I'm going off of what people said about the game several years ago, not now, because they don't count. I'm talking about the people who experienced it during, like back then, like the older people experienced it. That's why, I mean, that's who I want to see and read their opinions, because it seems much more fresh than something that's new. And a lot of people saying the game was rushed and it has a lot of glitches in the loading times. Loose controls, easy deaths, and collision detection problems. It's unplayable. If you can somehow play the game and have a good time, that's fine and dandy. But no matter how much you like the game, it's still a terrible game. And by now, you should have acknowledged that the story and characters are all opinion based. But the gameplay itself is bad, real bad. You can't argue that the game had a good story, good characters, and all that, but you are outnumbered by the people who know the game. It's a major disappointment. I mean, if a person likes the game, then that's them, but nobody is excusing the fact that it has problems. A bunch of people is pointing out, it's a lot of people pointing out the problems, even though they say they enjoy the game. There's a lot of people that point out the problems. But I don't got a problem with people who like the game. We know that it's bad, but don't be so hard on people who say they like the game. Like, I'm not here to bash on people who say they like Sonic 06. If you like Sonic 06, then it's not a bad thing. That's fine. I'm just pointing out why people hate Sonic 06. There is a lot of people who hate this game, but it's like a few people that like it, and that is fine. But the outcome of this game is very bad. This person made a list on why Sonic 06 is bad, or it says a list of everything wrong with Sonic 06. The camera, the awful camera, the bad physics, and the insane amount of glitches and bugs, almost unplayable. The difficulty is tremendous. I can't understand why y'all are complaining about the difficulties of Sonic. Has always been difficult since the beginning. Since the classic days of Sonic has always been difficult. Try playing the first Sonic and come back. Try playing Sonic on Genesis and come back. Please. Complaining about the difficulty is just ridiculous. I played hard Sonic games. Like, come on. The Sonic and Elise thing, they hated that. Horrible voice actors. Useless overworlds, the loading times. content. Opinions aren't facts, but some opinions are more valid than others. If you disagree, it's fine. Yeah, it is fine to disagree. So a bunch of people complain about the same things over there. What I got from reading these reviews is the camera's bad, the levels are glitchy, the graphics are bad, Sonic and Elise is too hard to play certain levels and complete them. The game is unfinished. That's what I got from reading these reviews from the players. The person says the game has so many glitches. It was unplayable. Long load times were frustrating. Knuckles refused to jump off the walls after attaching himself to white hedgehog silver was so slow. Glitches load. Long load times, bad story, voice acting. The only character that I had a semi-fun time playing with Sonic, but they force you to play as the other two hedgehogs and the rest of the supporting cats. I rented the game. He rented it because I enjoyed the demo on 360, but the game ended up having written out over it. I played it the day I rented it out. It got to some level where I played as Knuckles, and the controls were so bad and low so long. I just couldn't take it anymore. It was like dial-up internet got out. The sad thing is, I thought I would really like the game after playing the demo. Played through it so many times after 2 days of not touching and running over time. Wow. Alright, so the hate for Sonic 06 is kinda justified. Let me explain. Okay, so we know that a bunch of people are saying the game was very glitchy. It's hard to control the characters. The camera, and when they do like move sets and stuff, is very like, well, the controls is all out of whack. That's what a bunch of people says. They got a problem with Sonic and Elise. Some people enjoyed the game, some people didn't. Some people say the graphics were bad, and then there's a lot of people say that the game is incomplete, and everybody is disappointed. It's Sega for releasing this game, even though it was not finished. It's a glitchy mess, and it's just hard to play the game, hard to play through, and which is why a bunch of people say that this game is a bad Sonic game. And I got this from reading all them reviews. Keep in mind that all these reviews are several years old. Some of them were 7 years old, some of them were 15 years ago that I read on different threads with you guys. And it's completely understandable because nowadays they're doing the same thing, releasing games how they want to release it without fixing anything up or changing anything at all. It is a major problem because we are a consumer, and if we're like constantly consuming a game and enjoying them, when it's like a game where it's completely well put together and we enjoyed it, we want a game just like that you can play through without a problem and not having any type of issues whatsoever. But another thing is, it's a big company, like this person said. Sega is a big company, so it is very disappointing to see a major company just fall flat on its face trying to release a game just to make money instead of putting the games together properly for people to experience the game in a great way, you know. So I see why there's a bunch of people disappointed in this game. If you were a Sonic fan and you was looking forward to a new Sonic game and you wanted to play something different, they were probably hoping that Sonic 06 will be another Sonic game that they can experience and have a good time with. But that wasn't the case, and as a result, a lot of people got disappointed. And it is disheartening when something that you like is bad and lets you down. It's just a terrible feeling. So I understand where they're coming from. And the people complaining about the story being bad too. Like, when it comes to stories and Sonic games, well, for the most part, I mean, back then in old Sonic games, the stories were like very good, great, you know, exciting, and it was always exciting to play through the game and get close to the ending because of like what you were expecting. The stories were good, and they just got exciting as you progress through the game. And regarding Sonic and the stories, sometimes Sonic stories don't always be good all the time. Like, they don't be that good. Sometimes it doesn't matter about the story. If you played Sonic Colors, I played that several years ago. I didn't really care about the story. Didn't care for it at all. I just played through the game. The game was alright. It wasn't bad, but the story didn't really like leave nothing major impact. Just like the other Sonic Wii games, like Black Knight. The only thing that was exciting about Black Knight's story is the fact that the girl ended up being an enemy. That what made Sonic and the Singer Rings exciting was to defeat Eraser Jin. That's the only thing that made it exciting. Sometimes Sonic stories don't be all that good. Okay? They don't. At all. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So I can't really say Sonic 06 story is what made the game bad, but it did make the game like pretty weird and out of the usual for a Sonic game, you know. Maybe Sega was trying to experiment with something, and Sega isn't afraid to experiment with different things. So I can't say that the story made the game bad. It was weird, yes, but I can't say that the story made the game bad. The music. I have not listened to the Sonic 06 music. I will update you guys on it when I make a follow-up on the Sonic 06 thing. I'm gonna try to play the game myself, since I'd never played it before in my entire life, and give you guys a review of it. But a lot of people praise the music, so there is that positive. Some people say they like the game. Some people say that they like playing different characters, and they all have their own unique abilities that they enjoy while playing the characters and stuff. So there's that. But the most infamous hate that Sonic 06 has is that Elise and Sonic stuff. The fans really hate the Elise and Sonic relationship throughout Sonic 06, but I noticed that a lot of people point out a lot of issues with the game as well. So I guess the hate is justified in the end. And I finally realized why that a bunch of people say that Sonic 06 is the worst Sonic game ever through reading people reviews and their experiences. So it's eye-opening, and I understand where they're coming from. And a lot of people back then was probably expecting this game to be a major Sonic classic, but instead they got something that they weren't expecting that was a huge letdown. But that's all I gotta say about Sonic 06. And if you played this game upon release, like when it released, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought about Sonic 06. And to you new gamers, let me know what you guys think about Sonic 06. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in the next video.